Most med spa owners and medical aesthetics clinic owners wait until there's a slow season and then they scramble. And then they feel frustrated or burnt out of riding the emotional roller coaster, whether that's from posting daily to Instagram, spending money on Facebook ads that don't return, have a good ROI, or just attract price shoppers, or they just don't really have the time to do the whole networking thing. So today I've come up with a 90-day marketing plan for aesthetics clinics. I've broken it down into 30-day chunks, and this is what I think is the most effective. If you're new here, my name is Nicholas. You might have seen my work with the Spa Industry Association or read my article with Dermoscope magazine. I'm the founder of Make It Marketable, where we help med spas show up in front of Google and AI for when their patients search for treatments like cool sculpting, Botox, and other stuff like that. So with that said, let's dive in. All right, so I got a new setup in the studio. I'm testing this new mic. I'm missing a piece, so I sound a little bit AI generated, or it doesn't sound like me. Please bear with me while I get this studio set up. But in the meantime, I'm happy to have the whiteboard and explain this to you. So I'm going to break down give you a little bit of context before I just jump into what a marketing plan is, because what is marketing? Like there's a lot of things that could encompass. So before we do that, let's just learn about the 4 buckets of marketing. And the 4 buckets are awareness, also called visibility, lead gen, sales, and then retention. So awareness is what most people think of when you think of marketing or visibility, and that's things like Facebook, Instagram, Google, AI. What else? You could technically count TV ads in here if that's your thing. I know lawyers, that works a lot for them. For a med spa, I wouldn't recommend that, but it's basically getting people who do not know you to know you, and it's as simple as that. Lead gen is just capturing people's contact information. So with a pop-up, a form on your website, a Facebook ad is going to capture their information ideally. So lead gen usually uses email. That's the modality for it. Although as a local business, phone calls are also valuable for you. Sales is going to be getting them to have their information to actually purchasing. That's probably going to come down to more the consultation process. And that might deal more with things like a skin analysis machine. Those are really good for those. And retention is getting people who already know you to buy again. And a lot of the times this basically, you use the same modalities. Today, I saw in one of the Facebook groups for the med spa community that someone was 8 months in and really struggling with getting leads for her med spa. So I think this is probably one of the most important assets and lead gen systems that you can have set up for your medical aesthetics clinic. And we're going to talk about awareness and visibility. That's probably what most of you already think about as marketing anyways. So just to use my fancy new markers, we're going to be talking about awareness. And before we jump into which type of awareness we're going to focus on, what I think is the most effective for you and has the best ROI, I want to just address something I call the difference between on-demand marketing and interruption marketing. So interruption marketing is going to be things like, I'll stick with the blue marker, but things like Facebook ads, Instagram, any sort of social media where they're scrolling. So they're basically doom scrolling. They're messaging their friends. They're looking at funny videos of pandas. Maybe they're creeping photos of their ex. They're not looking for your services. And so when you post content to social media like Instagram or Facebook or Pinterest, let's put a P for Pinterest, they're not looking for your services, and you have to interrupt them with an offer. Usually that offer is either free or low cost in order to get them to give you their contact information, which is what you want to do. And if you're just, and you're also competing internationally, right? Because the algorithm is the algorithm. They're getting, it doesn't matter if you're posting content from China, if you post something relevant to them, it's going to appear in their feed. So a lot more competition, and you got to have the rest of this marketing funnel set up, right? Like if you're running Facebook ads and spending money, you damn well better have a way to capture their information, and then have a proven way to make the sale, and then keep getting money from them. The marketing plan I'm gonna give to you is, I think, is a lot more simple and a lot more effective, and it focuses on something I call on-demand marketing, and it has two main advantages for you. Number one being that it's local, and number two is that the intent is higher. So briefly, let me just explain that local, so you only need people who are going to drive to your med spa. You don't care about people really even in the next state over, definitely not the next country over. You can only attract clients that are really within driving distance. And so that's who you're targeting. And that's a really powerful thing for you, because you're only competing with the other medical aesthetics clinics in your city. That is a lot less. Even if you live in a big city like New York, there's still a lot less people there than there is in the entire internet and the entire algorithm. So the first benefit is that there's less competition. Then the second benefit is the intent. So when someone, and it doesn't matter if it's a slow season or a busy season, every single month there's people searching for things like Botox, fillers, cool sculpting, IV therapy, you name it, they're searching for it. And they're ready to buy. They're not just browsing photos of their ex. So they convert better, and there's less competition. So the marketing plan that I'm going to talk about today is going to be focusing on on-demand marketing. And the main modalities that harness that is going to be with Google and AI. That's where people go to search for local med spa services that you sell. And that, again, is in the awareness bucket. That's getting people who do not know about you to then know about you and ultimately book. So so this marketing plan, this 90-day marketing plan, we've used it with my agency before. We've gotten people results. We got a med spa in Denver to rank at the top for the search term med spa Denver. And last time I checked with her, she was actually considering closing her doors and doing something new. And I set her up with SEO, and then the next time we spoke, she was getting 1 weekly Botox booking, which is awesome. And she also had around 22 people sign up for her membership, which is more based on facials, but still really good monthly revenue. And we worked with a second med spa in Montreal. We ran a lip filler campaign, and they were basically invisible. And now they're starting to dominate for lip fillers in Montreal. So this works. You can get results in 90 days. And the best part is that it's pretty much automatic. So with that said, let me just briefly break it down. I'll link to resources that are more specifically for this, but if you want to learn more. But for right now, let's talk about what you can do in each sort of 30 days. So in days 0 to 30, I want you to focus on your Google business profile, what's also called the GBP. That's a double P. All right, the GBP. And what I want you to make sure is present on your GBP let's say there's 3 really important things that are going to matter here. Number 1 is photos of you, your team, and maybe your patients if they agree to it. And I want you to use your iPhone, and because what happens is those are authentic, they're geotagged and timestamped. In other words, when you upload them to Google, it lets it know that this is a real place, and there's an actual time and a place associated with this photo. You don't have to hire a professional photographer. Most iPhones and cell phones have more than enough of a good camera. Just don't want it to be blurry. Definitely do not upload stock photos or AI generated photos. Trust is at an all-time low. Next, I want you to always be asking for reviews. Reviews help with the conversion process. They make your patients actually book with you. They help you rank higher against your competitors. And if you ever want to sell med spas or aesthetics clinics with higher review counts, sell for more. So there's 3 benefits there. It's an exit strategy as well. So reviews, always be asking. And just as like a pro tip, if you want an incentive to incentivize it, we found that offering a free sheet mask is something that they really like. Also, automating that is really important. So sending them an email after their session is really, really effective. That's how the clinics that we work with that get the most reviews do it. And we also advise having a scannable QR code at the reception. So reviews matter. And then lastly is, let's just abbreviate this to PNS, products and services. You really want to make sure that you, if you offer Botox, well, Botox is tricky because you can't say Botox, you got to say neuromodulator, but you want to make sure that it says Botox or neuromodulator, or it says cool sculpting, or it says hydrofacial, whatever the service. Those are quote unquote your keywords that your patients are looking for into Google. So you want to make sure that they're updated, add them to the services, create products in the GBP, and then link them to the site. And that's what you're going to focus on in the first 30 days. The next 30 days, you're going to focus on your website. And what I want you to do, I'll link to, I've written about this before in more detail, so you can get really in-depth if you want. You can also have a website person do this. But there's essential pages that you need to have on your site. And I'm not talking aesthetically, I'm talking about just functionally. And what they are is going to be the homepage, obviously, but your homepage needs to target the keyword. There's always some variation of this. Medical spa, your city. So if it's Denver, medical spa Denver. In Montreal, it's Medi Spa Montreal. There's always a certain amount of people who search that, and that's what you want your homepage to target. Next, about. AI is a new modality, and it's actually showing a lot of it's recommending a lot of med spas, and you really want to make sure that you get recommended. AI likes to recommend med spas with it likes to recommend people, brands, what it calls entities, things with experience. It does not like recommending just a website in the dark, shady corner of the internet. So displaying who the medical director is a really big one. Who the estheticians are, the laser techs, the receptionist, who's the team, who's accountable. That actually helps with conversions, but it also gets you shown up on to get recommended by AI. Let's talk about treatments. Each treatment, yeah, you're not going to be able to read my handwriting, but I'm telling you what it is. Treatments, each treatment needs its own page. So Botox needs its own page, cool sculpting needs its own page, hydrofacial needs its own page. Every single one needs its own its own page, and go in depth about what happens like during the consultation. It starts with a 5-minute consult. Then we do steps A to Z. How long does it take? How much does it cost? That's a big question. Definitely share that. Go into as much detail as possible. And you want to link that to your Google Business profile, because that's what's going to help you show up. So when you have a Botox Montreal page on your website and a Botox page on your Google Business profile, that's a signal to Google NII, and you start showing up for those high intent searches. The next page you want is results. Wow, I'm really results page, and really all this is it's again another AI thing. So it's AI wants to know that you've gotten results for people. It doesn't want to recommend businesses that don't have proven systems. So really just collecting case studies. If you've helped someone with acne, a great before and after photo, lip fillers before and after. Just start taking them. These are things that you can also add to your Google Business Profile photos. You can also add that to social media photos. Just start getting in the habit of taking before and afters for your, and testimonials can go on the results page. And the last one is going to be the contact page. And really all this is you're embedding a map and a contact form and your name, address, and phone number on that. And it's really basic. But you get those pages in check and you will start showing up for those searches. Okay, so you've gotten your Google Business Profile set up, you've got your website optimized. The last step is going to be what I call PR. And really what you're doing is you're just getting your med spa listed on local directories. So there's a tool that we use, it's called Bright Local. I can link to it down below, and you basically pay, you give them information, your business information, and then they go and get your med spa listed on as many directories as you want. And those directories send signals to Google and AI saying, we're located here, this is what we do. It's really important. It's maybe the lowest hanging fruit you can do. Big time saver if you use Bright Local. If you're not ready to purchase a software, and I really don't recommend doing this yourself for like all the directory listings, but there are 6 directory listings that are really important if you're not listed on right now. And I'll just share that with you. You can do this manually, it won't take that long. And they are Facebook, your business page, LinkedIn, company page, Yelp, you just write Yelp, the Better Business Bureau, BBB, and is there another one? Yes. Okay. Apple Maps, Bing Places. These are some of the most important places you can list your med spa on. And I would actually go in and do these manually. And then once you're ready to get Bright Local, you can buy, there's all sorts of directories to get listed on, but definitely start with there. And if you're missing any of these, go get them. And the last thing you're going to do, if you get Bright Local, you can actually set up performance tracking. And then what you'll see is the results. You'll be actually able to track. You're not just guessing, right? So like I mentioned, we were running a lip filler campaign for one of our med spas. Well, we saw that at day 0, they were basically invisible in the Montreal market. And by day 60, they're starting to show up. We can actually track where they're showing up. So it's in Bright Local and it's part of performance tracking. It's like these little dots. It's just an added bonus so that you can see the fruits of your labor. I think this is one of the best ways to go about starting a med spa marketing plan. Even if you're more advanced and you have Facebook ads, if you're missing this, it can always be fine-tuned. And the bottom line is that this is a really automated way to get predictable patients coming to you, which is really powerful psychologically, not you chasing them, month after month. So it's automatic, it generates leads that are already looking to buy and book, and it's a really good way to start getting more consistent bookings. I hope this was helpful. Leave me a thumbs up if you liked it. Let me know if you'd like me to put together a more action-oriented action plan for the marketing plan. So specifics, I'll put together a resource. But you got to let me know if you want that and if it's worth me taking the time to build it. Otherwise, I'll just keep creating more videos like this. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.